Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. The path of love. How to attain the divine love in our life. What do we need to attain that divine love? The ecstatic love of God that makes us and our life sanctified. We reach the life eternal in the transcendental reality, the Dhamma of the Lord. Is it possible for all of us who are ordinary people in this world? Yes, says Sri Ramakrishna. Every human, by the virtue of being a human, possessing the human body, whatever be his past, whatever be his present, he can attain that state of divine love. And it is the only path that is common to all. Any person, there is no eligibility necessary except a small will to go ahead in that path. So Sri Ramakrishna describes few simple things which you begin with simple states, normal human life without duties and responsibilities being attended to without shirking off the duties and responsibilities of life. You can attain God in this very life, be eternally free from nature. This is the assurance Sri Ramakrishna gives us. And the simple things he says to acquire the divine love, the ecstatic love of God. You begin with the singing and the names and glories of God, and seeking holy company as and when it is available, as much as possible. The third thing, whenever you get a little leisure, sit alone and peep with him. Face yourself, know yourself, try to analyze, go with him. In solitude you let him various things be in detail so. And the last thing we are attending to is intense prayer, prarthana. The longing heart wherein the intellectual circus dissolves. The mind, which is always turbulent, running here and there, seeking this and that, become tranquil and merge in it. The heart, when is possessing the longing for God. And how does this longing come? All the preparation, singing the names of glories of God, the satsanga, and your solitude now and then support this longing. It generates longing. Not that again and again I tell this important part, you will not be, not that you are not able to do any activities of life. All things will go on smoothly because there is the participation of nature and also of God. It will be easier for you because you don't seek anything personally from this world around. You want to give. You give your love and sacrifice. When you seek alone, the problems come. When you are giving, no problem. When you don't have any expectation from others, demands from others, you are at peace. and all things go on peacefully by the participation of nature and God in your life. There is some other, it's just like you have to travel to a far off place, and if you walk, how much time it takes, how much of energy it takes. Suppose you have a scooter, then you can see it saves a lot of your energy because energy is supplied by the nature, the petrol you are using. Suppose you have used a cycle, riding a cycle and going. You are utilizing your intelligence apart from your physical energies. You have created a cycle which can go much faster, 9 times you are walking. It can go. If you have a scooter or motorcycle, still more, another 10 times the speed of a cycle it can go. So it goes on multiplying because your time, lot of time is saved if the nature's energy you utilize as in scooter or motorcycle. This energy, similarly, you are going in the path of God, and when you are in tune with nature, how do you say you are in tune with nature? You have no expectation from others. You want to serve, you want to love, you want to sacrifice. Then you are in tune. The moment you think of others, you feel concerned about others, you participate in their life, you want to serve, you understand the pains and joys of people, then there is the participation of nature. You have tuned yourself to the nature. Sacrifice and universal love makes you in tune with the nature, and sacrifice and love of God makes you in tune with the divine. Love God intensely, love all beings and serve as much as possible, as much as your time, wealth, and your bodily participation, whatever you can. It may be small amount of money you might be spending. A few hours or few minutes you may be serving others. It is sufficient. You are in tune with it. Whatever, that is the maximum you can do. And with that the nature participates in your life. The smooth everything goes on smoothly without your exercising lot of strain. There is no tension in the mind. There is no frustration. There is no depression. Mind is calm and quiet. All things are going on smoothly because you are in the phase of giving, phase of attaining higher things than the normal human seek, the dhana, mana, deha, sukha. Wealth, the normal man seeks, the non-spiritual who doesn't want to go to higher level of consciousness, higher level of understanding, higher seekings if you don't have. They all like animals seeking, we too will start seeking dhana, mana, deha, sukha. Dhana, the wealth, everyone is after wealth, and the name and fame, power and authority, mana, and deha sukha, physical enjoyments, bodily enjoyments, comforts, luxuries of body and health. So these three are, now your mind is not on that. There is something beyond. So there is a participation of divine. And this creates longing for God. Once some two devotees go to Ramana Maharshi, one will be seeker of God. He wants to realize the self, and he has gone. A friend of his has gone with him to see what it is. And he is not a man of spiritual understanding, but a good person that he has come to Ramana Maharshi with his friend who is a sadhaka. So while discussing and all, this person who has gone with the sadhaka, the spiritual aspirant, asked Ramakrishna, what happens if you don't think of God? Then Ramakrishna simply said, oh, there are only two things in this world, God and the world. If you don't seek God, then you will be seeking world. If you don't think of God, the rest is your thinking of the world. Time will pass away. World is a constantly changing flux, and you will be empty-handed. You will not have anything. You will not have peace. External affluence cannot remove the internal void. The void within, the abhava, will remain as it is. So, the thing is, there are only two things, world and God. If you don't seek world, naturally the whole energy, internal energy of seeking all this will be converted into a tremendous, powerful rush, the great seeking, how the Buddha leaves the home and heart. He never had any suffering. He was in the world. He is a king, you can say. He is a prince with all luxuries, what all he needs. The youngster with full of bodily energy, strength, prowess, and what not. A beautiful young wife and a newborn baby, a few months old. And what does he need? All enjoyments, all everything at royal level it is there. But he sees the others suffering and he wants to put an end to the suffering of mankind. Is there a way? Is there a way to come out of bondage and suffering that each man is passing through with small incentive of enjoyments, enticements of the world? So this is how he goes on. What a longing, tremendous longing to live the kingship of a kingdom, to leave all the enjoyments and comforts and shave off his head and put on the robes of a monk and go away for that great journey to the eternal. So this longing, where does it come from? They seek the same thing, same mind, same body, same heart, same intellect, which was seeking the world. Now, with all together, collectively, it is seeking the divine. The whole, we are limited. We have limited energies, limited everything. But it is, in the world, it is dissipated in all directions. When we turn to the divine, they all get integrated and get focused on the divine. It is like a sunlight passing through a convex lens. All get converged to a place. A paper can be burnt by using a convex lens if just by the same sunshine that is falling on the earth. So this makes us see something beyond. Now with that longing heart, you are going to pray. How beautiful it would be. How longing. Everything is going on unconsciously. His lot of participation is not there in the worldly duties and activities, but still it smoothly goes on and consciously is offering all that he does as an offering, as an oblation into the divine, as a service to the Lord. You have kept me in the world in this position. I am doing all my duties and I am doing it for your sake. I want you. And you have placed me and I am joyfully, willfully, wholeheartedly I am doing my duties. This wholehearted giving to the world and to God is not possible if you have any personal seeking in this world. These two important aspects that is self-generated in your system is jnana and vairagya. With the divine, you are seeking the divine and the nature creates, intuits you, input, there is nature's input of wisdom and that dispassion towards the world. No, dispassion means it is there, it is there. I'm not after that. But all things you are taking care, everything is happening. There is no attachment to your possession. There is no attachment for enjoyments. There is no attachment for anything of these worldly objects, things, needs. So it is go beyond. The lower self has been conquered by the higher self, and higher self is seeking now the eternal. So this we see a beautiful process is taking place. The evolution is taking place. You see, with divine love doesn't come alone. It brings all the other Aishwaryas also, the rare treasures, the important to our jnana and vairagya, the wisdom and dispassion. You see, once Narada goes to Vrindavan, actually he'll be moving about, he sees the times are changing so fast and people who he has been seeing all the phases of this earth passing through Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and he has come to the, one by one, each times he is saying Kali Yuga, and again Satyuga coming, Treta Yuga coming, Dwapara Yuga. Again, the cycle going on. Each time the new cycle begins, he is participating, trying to help people. When this time comes, Kali Yuga, the Dwapara has ended, the Krishna's play is ended, and he sees that he has gone to Vrindavan, and there he sees a beautiful young woman with 2 children. She herself is in great grief with him, and 2 children have become lean and helpless. They are not able to get up and sit and walk and move. And he looks at her, so bright, so nice, everything. And she is morose, as if she is weeping in grief. And Narada goes and asks, who are you? What is this? Who are these children? Why are you like this? Then she says, I am devotion. I am love of God, the devotion. And these are my 2 children, jnana and vairagya. They have become lean, thin, full of, lost all energy. They are not able to stand properly. A few decades before, the play of Krishna was going on in the Vrindavan. And Narada passing through the world, he sees the compassion has gone away from people. Wisdom has gone away. And people have become indifferent to the others' welfare. All have become selfish. All are running after the enjoyments of the world. Materialism is spreading and spirituality is dissolving. Seeing the plight of this world, when he passes through Vrindavan, he sees this sight. Then goes on asking, she says, I am devotion, love of God, and these are my children. See, the love of God comes always with devotion, and love of God comes always with vairagya and jnana. The wisdom, spiritual wisdom, and dispassion towards the worldly things. So then he sees, oh, what can be done? Then he consults so many sages, munis and great sadhakas who are there and ask, what can be done? What is this happening? He tries to energize them, inspire the two children, make them stand up. They momentarily stand up with all glory and they collapse. Again he tries. Then he consults the sages. The sages say it can be done only by acquiring the love of God, and the only way to acquire the love of God in this Kali Yuga is to repeat the name of glories of God. Read the Bhagavata, like the Bhagavata is Leela of God. God has left the Leela behind and gone. And that Leela Dhyana, Leela and repetition of God's name and contemplating on the divine play that Lord played on this world, in this world, will make again, give that energy back. And he sees a few here and there having that glory of divine love, glory of wisdom, glory. Then he sees they are reading Bhagavatam, the story, the divine play of the Lord. Some are reading the Devi Bhagavata, various things regarding the divine play, the various ways. In our times, Sri Ramakrishna has incarnated for our sake. And we feel, and his life, what we are studying now, this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, is something like Bhagavata for us. This Rishi Muni says the same wisdom, the same renunciation, the dispassion towards the world is there in the Vedas too. Vedas contain only that. The wisdom, the supreme knowledge of the reality it contains. But it is very difficult to, it is inaccessible to people who are in the phase, this particular phase of Kali Yuga, when the materialism has captured the man's heart and mind. For them, it is very difficult to understand. Though it is there, it is inaccessible. It is for a few who have been endowed with that grace of renunciation, they can have access and understand, get the inspiration from the Veda. For all others, the Leela of God, the Bhagavad Leela, when God comes down, He comes down with that supreme wisdom, to give that wisdom, to give that. His main thing is, when He incarnates in any of His aspects in this universe, it is to lift the mankind again back to the highest state of wisdom and dispassion, of divine love and supreme knowledge, and redeem the souls and take them to a higher level of consciousness, release them from the bondage and sufferings forever, the mukti patha, to show going back home for every jiva. And also the society, he has to re-establish the righteousness, the dharma. The dharma is living according to the laws of nature, plan of nature. Plan of nature is evolution of the jiva. We have come from perfection enter into the imperfection. Again, we have to evolve to the state of perfection and go beyond. So this cycle is Narada then starts singing the names and glories of God and moving about here, there, whichever aspect really aspires for him, he'll be a backbone like support he'll be given from within, unseen, unknown, to even to the sadhaka. somebody is pushing from behind. So this is how the Narada sees that in our times we see Sri Ramakrishna has come down again with the same purpose of Dhamma Samsthapana and revealing himself, relieving the souls from all bondage and suffering. And that is why we are studying now with the divine love. The divine love has two branches which covers the wisdom, the world which was looking the so much of enticement which is going to arrest you, catch you and drown you in this world. It's the same world. When you see in the eyes of wisdom, you will be seeing it is all divine. When you see dispassion, you will see that with dispassion in the world, your love flows out. You start loving, embracing the whole universe because you are endowed with dispassion. Dispassion makes you, gives you, bestows upon you the universal love. When I love someone, focus my whole love on a particular person or a particular thing, I am going to be disappointed because the object is constantly changing and is going to disappear one day. But when it becomes universal love, it gets fulfillment because universal love is loving God in some other form, some other aspect. So there is expansion, there is fulfillment. The more dispassion you get towards the world and worldly things, the more you love you give to the people, you give to the all beings, living beings. Plants and trees will receive your love. All objects will be blessed by, they too will participate in the spiritual life, revealing their divine nature. There is in every object, there is divine pervading it and giving existence to that. It is able to really reveal itself. I am able to see this book because divine is pervading it. And this existence belongs to Lord. The object is mere appearance. And this vision you will have with the divine love awakening in you. The divine love comes with the two important aspects. One is the wisdom, spiritual wisdom, with which you see divine everywhere. And the other is dispassion, which protects you from the world and worldly. The two are the inseparable parts of or products of divine love. Divine love and the whole universe looking divine. So this is where we merge in. We will continue with different aspects of divine love. Om Niranjanam Nityamanantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhritavigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namah.